Hey, are you looking for a longer axle-to-axle hunting bow with all the tuning features built in so you can tune your bow without the need of a bow press? The Bowtech Proven 34 might be just the bow you're looking for. Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery in our video studio today. It is Bowtech Day. We have for you the 2025 flagship hunting bow from Bowtech Proven 34. That's the bow we're looking at this year. So those of you folks who like longer axle to bow, boom, here you got it from Bowtech, the Proven 34. Obviously that refers to 34 inches axle to axle. So this is, has a lot of the great technology that we've come to see from Bowtech for the last couple years. So Bowtech, this bow right here, you almost need a bow press for nothing except to put in your peep sight. You can do everything you need to do on this bow without a bow press. I'll run through those technologies for you as we go through the bow, but 34 inches axle to axle. There are two different cams that are going to come with this bow. That can come with this bow. Right now I have the standard ones. And so what that's going to do for a draw length range is 25 to 30 inches. Now, you can also get the long draw version, which is going to go from 27.5 to 33 inches. Bowtech is one of the companies that tends to accommodate those longer draw archers with their offerings. Proven 34 with the long draw cam, 27.5 to 33 inches. So then that's going to affect brace height as well. Right here with the standard, you're going to have 6 5/8. Speed rating is going to be up to 336 feet per second. On the long draw, you're going to have a 7-inch brace height, speed rating up to 331 feet per second. And now that they say up to because, one of the cool things with the Bowtechs is you basically get two versions of the bow, regardless of whether you get standard or long draw. And where that comes in is right here in the module. You can see here we have Bowtech's flip disc. So this is the module for adjusting draw length, and you can see right there it says flip disc performance. So this is going to be the side that's going to give you your fastest speed ratings. It's also going to have the most aggressive draw cycle. Speed ain't free, it's got to come from somewhere. So this side is going to be a little more aggressive. So I can take this module and I can flip it over to the other side and it would say comfort right there where it says performance. That one is going to be obviously a little more comfortable on the draw cycle. It's not going to be as aggressive, but now that one is going to give a little bit slower speeds. So performance is going to be your max speeds. Comfort's going to be a little nicer draw experience, but your speeds are going to go down a little bit. But it's just kind of cool that you get to choose. If you're bow hunting and you want maximum speed, go with performance. During the winter, this is a 34-inch bow. This would be a great crossover bow for target or 3D. You can switch to comfort, just for ease on your shoulder, basically. But while we got the cam up here, let's stick with that. This does have Bowtech's Deadlock cam system. So what that is right here you can see the little Deadlock logo, and you're gonna have a locking screw underneath. We don't need to see that, but there's the locking screw right there. And then you're gonna have the drive screw. So Bowtech is the only one that does this, and it's pretty cool. So you're shooting through paper, you're tuning your bow, you have a little bit of a tear that you need to fix, and you need to move that cam left or right. You just loosen this screw, and then you turn this screw right here, and what it is the axle is on kind of like a gear drive. So as I turn this screw, one way or the other, I can move the cam left or right. Just by turning that screw right there, the cam moves one way, turn it the other way, the cam moves back. Super ingenious system that Bowtech has there. And then once you lock it down, you know that nothing's gonna move. And again, you can do that right while you're standing on the line tuning. Just need a set of Allen wrenches, move that cam, fix that paper tear, and you go back at it. So something else you're gonna notice on this cam is what we call time lock right here. So this is another unique Bowtech feature. You can see the logo time lock, but I'm gonna turn it around, and this is where you're gonna see the little lines in there. Those are your lines to indicate where you are in your tuning process. What we're doing here is we're fixing cam timing. So by turning the drive screw, what I'm doing is I'm taking this post. You can see the cable is attached to this post. I can bring that post out or in, depending on what I need to do to fix cam timing. So obviously this is going to, if I pull this out, I'm gonna turn the cam one way. If I push it in, I'm gonna turn the cam the other way. Again, don't need a bow press. Normally in a lot of situations, what you're gonna do if you have to fix cam timing, you're gonna put the bow in a press so that you can take that cable off and you're gonna twist it. Well, with time lock, not only do you not need a bow press, but you have sort of not infinite adjustment, but when you have to twist cables, you're bound by half twist. That's all you can do, half twist or full twist. With time lock, you can micro adjust how much movement you need in those cams. Sometimes a half twist is too much or not enough. With time lock, you can solve that problem just by making micro adjustments on that cable, lengthening or shortening to get that cam timing exactly where you need it. So again, as I mentioned, Bowtech really has kind of been one of the leaders in developing this technology so that you can work on these bows without a bow press. You are going to need it for your peep sight, but you can do a lot of stuff where you needed a bow press to tune before. Now you don't need that. And while we're on the lock, time lock, we have time lock, deadlock, pocket lock. We have their Deadlock pocket system here as well. And what that is, you have a bolt right there. You're locking the pocket to the riser. Right here, you have these bolts. You're locking the limbs into the pocket. So they're holding the limbs in there, and then the pocket itself is locked to the riser. You can see that piece right in there. That's your locking screw. Just locks everything so you know that's not going to move. And then while we're on the lock subject, we of course have grip lock. So with grip lock, that's something easy that I can show you how it works. So you get your bow. It has a grip, and you say, I don't like that grip. I don't like the angle of it. With grip lock, that is an easy fix. You can get pretty much any degree you want. Just gonna unlock those locking screws there, and then right in the front, right here, I have a hole. I'm gonna put this in. Okay, watch this grip here now. See how this is separating here? I'm increasing that angle. Increasing the angle, if I want to have a little more heel pressure there, I can do that. I'm driving it out and then I lock it down. The cool thing is this grip lock is not bound just by these screws. You can imagine if those screws came a little bit loose, with you putting hand pressure in there, you'd just push it right back. Well, this drive screw here, that holds it in place. That's what prevents it from moving, because obviously you're not going to move this screw. But anyway, so yeah, I can push that grip out. You can push it out pretty far too, or I can bring it back in. And once I get it to wherever I want it, just lock it in place. And you're good to go. Just a great feature from Bowtech. You know, we're very familiar with aftermarket grips that folks buy to make the grip right. Bowtech gives you the ability to adjust the grip that comes with your bow, so you don't have to buy anything else. So, excellent feature there from Bowtech. Then other features of the bow. So, I guess we should come with the newest feature of the bow. So last year we saw what Bowtech introduced was their center mass system for attaching a bow sight. Essentially they had a channel cut through in here, and you know, Black Gold had some sights with a special bar on it that you could slide straight through the riser. So this year what you're going to notice is this slot right here. And I have one of the new Black Gold center mass sights. You can see once we build this bow, I will attach it, but this is how it attaches. I got screws that go in there so that I can attach it to the inside of the riser. Haven't seen that from any of the bow companies. Traditional, you know, has been on the back side. Then we got Bowtech and Matthews, which offered straight through the riser. Now Bowtech has come around to this side here. And they said the reason they did that was to move some of the weight from the sight more to the inside of the riser. They said that gave a better balance than when it was in the middle of the riser. This, obviously, the machining for that looks pretty simple, but that's what we have. If you had last year's bow and you got the center mass sight for last year's bows, your current sight bar will not work with this. Likewise, this mounting bar will not work with the old riser center mass sights. So if you have last year's sight, you can just get this bar now to upgrade and use it on the Proven 34. So for rest mounting options, Bowtech does have your 2 holes here, standard rest mounting, and then they have the machined in dovetail. This is going to be for your integrate style rests, any of the ones that are labeled IMS. Those are the rests that are going to work on this dovetail integrate mounting system is what that stands for. As always, you know, Bowtech has this flexible arm here just so that the load from the strings as you go through the draw cycle, the cam rolls over, it just flexes, eases that load on these cams. Bowtech's been doing that for years with that flexible arm, flexible cable arm. Now I did want to mention that Bowtech is going to have, you know, you can buy the bow just bare like this and put whatever accessories you want on it. And Bowtech is going to have 2 special packages. They're going to have a tree stand package and a mountain package, where they're going to put together some accessories for you that kind of work well with this bow, whether you're a tree stand hunter from the east, like me, or you're a western bow hunter going up and down the mountains. They have a sight, stabilizer, quiver, rest for you that will kind of geared towards those different pursuits. You can check those out, tree stand package, mountain package. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build this bow out. We're going to time the cams, we're going to tune it, we're going to shoot through paper, do all that stuff, shoot through till we get a bullet hole. We're going to get this thing tuned. Then we're going to do our speed test. That's why I have it on the performance setting. I want to see what this bow does through the chronograph on the performance setting. So we will have our own speed test for you. And then we're going to take it outside, put it to the test, see what we can do with the Bowtech Proven 34. All right, we got her all put together. Let's go out, shoot through paper, and we'll get a speed test. All right, Proven 34, let's get our paper test. Got a little bit knock right. Let's see, that's my point, that's my fletching, so we got knock right. Okay. All right, let's see what that did. Moved the cam to the right. Ooh. How about that? Right there. That is, I think that's just a hair off perfect. I think I'm still a touch knock right. I mean, just the tiniest bit. Just a smidge. That's a technical term, smidge. Boom, money. Perfection. Hey, and so there you saw it. You know, that's the simplicity of Deadlock. Just turning that, you can see we went from this tear to this tear, which is almost perfect, to that one, perfect. So now that we did that, we're gonna do our speed test, and remember, we are on the performance setting, so this should give us the fastest speed. All right, so one of the reasons that we do that paper tuning, just wanted to mention real quick, is just to show you how easy or difficult it is. You all are gonna paper tune as well, so I wanna give you a sense of how easy it is to work with that Deadlock system. You saw it, 3 shots, bullet hole. Couldn't be any easier in my opinion. But now we're gonna do our speed test. And remember, it's up to 336 feet per second with this standard cam, which is what I have. And that would be 70 pounds at 30-inch draw, 350 grain arrow. I am at 30-inch draw, have the 350 grain arrow. Now I just need my draw weight. Let's see what we got here. All right, 72.4, that's a little hot, so I'm gonna take a little bit out of the limbs in order to get us down to that 70-pound spec. Half a turn, start there. Remember, changing draw weight. Whatever you do to the top, make sure you do to the bottom. And I took a half a turn out. We'll see what that does. All right, so there we go, 70.8. We got into that 70 range there, so we're gonna go with that. .335.8. Remember, the speed rating's up to 336. We are a hair over at 70.8. .335.6. So 335.8, 335.6. we're right there at that 336 feet per second mark. One thing I can tell you is that when we go outside to shoot this now, I'm putting those mods back to comfort. That performance is very aggressive at that back end. You can probably see there is a hump right at the end before that cam rolls over. That's a little aggressive for me. So I'm gonna flip that over to the comfort side, but let's go outside, see how this thing aims, see how it shoots at distance. All right, so you can see we've moved outside here. We had a video producer request to see, as I mentioned, you know, I was gonna do my shooting out here on the comfort side because that performance is a little bit aggressive for me. So, video producer said, well, let's do a speed test on the comfort side as well. So that's what we're gonna do. So first, I don't know if it affects draw weight. I don't know why it would, but we're gonna give you a fresh draw weight, 70.2 pounds. I think that's basically what it was. But you can see that holding weight went down to 11. It was up around 15 before. So anyway, same thing, 70 pounds, 30-inch draw, 350 grain arrow. This one is comfort setting. .323.6. Let's just do another one. That was my weights rattling, if you heard a rattle. .325.6, 323, 325. So you can see the difference. You know, we were up at 335 on performance, about 10 feet per second slower on comfort. So now let's have some fun, see how this thing aims. We're going to shoot it at distance, see what we can learn about the Proven 34. Just a little bit high. All right, so shooting the Bowtech Proven 34. First off, once again, I'm going to stress how much I prefer the comfort setting to the performance. The draw cycle is much more traditional, I'll say, in that, you know, a little bit of effort, and then the cam rolls over, comes back and sits nicely. In that performance setting, it's like you have some effort, you get almost a full draw, and then you got a hump to get over, and then it's difficult to get comfortable at the back wall. But again, speed ain't free. That gets you an extra 10 feet per second. If that's what you like, by all means, go for it. But this one in comfort setting, shooting 325 feet per second, I mean, that's pretty fast too. So it aims, you know, it's a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow. It's gonna aim great. It weighs 4.7 pounds. That's the bare bow weight for this, which is on the heavier side, but not for a 34-inch bow, aluminum bow. So it weighs about appropriate, but it just aims really nice, which I would expect from a 34-inch bow. I'm out here, that's dead center. That's right in the X. So I'm shooting at 60 yards with these pink feathers, pink veins, I could see it. I'm right in there. So yeah, super nice shooting bow. And I don't, you know, I can never tell noise, how a bow sounds is always difficult to translate to camera because of the microphone and the microphone on the camera. I'm wearing one, the camera has one. And so folks are like, that sounds loud, that sounds quiet. It's hard to tell in this setting. But from me behind the bow, what I can tell you is it's pretty quiet. There is a little bit of a twang, but it's a low frequency twang. That's my term for it. It's kind of like bass rather than treble. It's kind of like a dong, and I can just feel it persisting, that if I put a string silencer on there, that would stop. But it's not loud to begin with anyway. There we go. That's another one. That's right beside the other one. Two good shots down there. So yeah, this one, as I said in the beginning, you know, you Western hunters, folks who like to shoot long distance, tack event guys, if you're gonna be shooting long distance, this one is gonna be a shooter for you. And don't forget, you know, grip lock we got there. I've just left it basically in the lowest position, but you can adjust that grip to get this to fit however you want it. The center mass sight here, I'm gonna say I don't notice a difference between other sights. I don't know. You know, it's not, one thing I can tell you that I was worried about was that this was going to be in my sight picture, and I can tell you that is not the case. I don't see anything that I don't need to see. I can see my full scope through there, so that's not a factor as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if we can get 3 in there. God, I think I did. Let's get out there and check these out. I have one high. That was my first, that was a test shot while I was still sighting in, but let's take a look at these next 3. All right, so from back there, they looked a little bit tighter. Hey, that's still pretty good. Remember, this is our first one. This was while I was still checking my sight. But then we got just off and in there at 60 yards. You know, the Bowtech with their technologies, you saw it, how easy it was. We were able to tune this to get it to a bullet hole. We used the time lock to get, you know, first to get our cam timing in sync. Use the Deadlock system to get a bullet hole. Came out here and just started shooting. I mean, I've just been shooting it this afternoon, and 60 yards, pretty much right out of the gate, you know, this thing is just shooting. I'm sure as I spend more time with it, get used to it, I can shrink that up. But 60 yards, first afternoon shooting this bow, I'm calling that a win. So, Bowtech Proven 34, brand new flagship bow from the folks at Bowtech with the new, they're calling it Center Mass Technology Gen 2. That's what they're referring to this new sight mounting system on there. So if you want to see this bow, the different options, remember I mentioned there are those 2 packages, the tree stand package, the mountain package. If you want to see the different options available in this bow, be sure to click the link in the description below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. As always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.